What's happening, gamers? This is John, host of Video Games in the World. It's not a new thing that politicians often go after video games and game developers, and I start rolling. Whenever something really bad happens, like a mass shooting, video games are often the scapegoats of such situations. Of course, they do not have anything logical to say but find a scapegoat. Here's what's happening this time, folks. Former US Vice President and presidential hopeful Joe Biden shared some inflammatory words for the video game industry and the big shot executives running it. More specifically, the presidential hopeful relayed his experience meeting various game developers and other Silicon Valley heads during his tenure at the White House. According to Biden, some of the people he met that day weren't just arrogant, but righteous but little creeps. Little creeps? Seriously? If I recall correctly, he did something considered really creepy before. Take a look.
Busted! Busted!
Yep, there you have it. Presidential hopeful Biden then said the following in an interview with the New York Times. And you may recall the criticism I got for meeting with the leaders in Silicon Valley when I was trying to work out an agreement dealing with and protecting intellectual property for artists in the United States of America. And at one point, one of the little creeps sitting around that table, who was close to a billionaire, told me he was an artist because he was able to come up with games to teach you how to kill people. Video games teach you how to kill people? Seriously? It's like saying that Cain killed his brother Abel by bludgeoning him with the Nintendo Switch. It's like saying that Genghis Khan was inspired by Assassin's Creed. The same thing can be said about King Richard the Lionheart. Studies have shown that video games don't turn people into violent criminals. What turns people into violent criminals? Bullying, a very bad family life, poverty, violent behaviors due to lack of nurturing, love, compassion, and kindness. Not to mention the desire to fit into a group that is deemed cool without knowing its bad intentions. As you may know, during the Obama administration and a few months after the Sandy Hook Elementary incident, he wanted to tax violent video games. He failed. Besides, video games reflect the real world and it's art imitating life. Honestly, it's typical politicians like him that try to find scapegoats in tragic situations to further an agenda instead of trying to find out what drove the shooter to do what he did. What would be a logical explanation for why a mass shooter decided to do what he did would be? Maybe he wasn't raised properly. Maybe some hateful ideology drove him to do this. Or probably because he was messed up in the head. And also, almost 21 years ago, come this April, at Columbine, Harrison Klebold killed 13 people and then took their own lives on April of 1999 during the tragic shooting at Columbine High School in Colorado. And these two were being bullied. Bullying played a large role in why they did what they did. But Jack Thompson blamed it on Doom because Eric Harris had created this mod called the Harris Levels. Jesus. Ah, dude. Politicians are not the only people in the gaming industry. Politicians are not the only people that the gaming industry has had to deal with for years. It also had to deal with all the Jack Thompsons, the media, Christian leaders like Matthew Hagee, Pat Robertson, not to forget the PC crowd as well. We survived Jack Thompson, we survived Leyland Yee, we survived Pat Robertson and Matthew Hagee as well. Does Assassin's Creed turn me into an assassin or a Templar? No. Does Trauma Center, damn good game, turn me into a surgeon with a healing touch? No. Does Grand Theft Auto turn me into Hitman for the Mob? Hell no. Joe Biden's comments are making me want to go play some Grand Theft Auto 5 right now. A few final things before closing. Human beings have killed each other since its dawn throughout history. Human beings have killed each other over race, religion, lands, money, resources, etc., etc. But let us not forget that religion was the main cause of many wars like the Crusades, the Catholic-Protestant wars, prejudice against women, and LGBT people. Not to forget that they have committed several atrocities and unjust killings, such as executing and threatening scientists and freethinkers for questioning their beliefs and authority, labeling scientists and freethinkers as heretics for saying that the earth moved around the sun, and debunking their pseudoscientific beliefs, the witch burnings, and fooling the masses and herding them like sheep for a very long time. Honestly though, politicians don't really understand gaming. They say video games cause violence, but time and again, it is proven that they do not. Politicians have a long history of making atrocious and ruinous choices for everybody. And that's all I have to say. Comment, hit that like button, and subscribe. This is John of Video Games in the World. Have a good one, gamers. Bye-bye.